What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here. Hopefully, everyone's having a great day today. But we're going to take a look at some statistics of crypto mining, and they're a lot different than what they were, say, 4 years ago when crypto mining was extremely popular. Everyone was making so much money. Now, not so many people are excited about it, and it's not making nearly as much as it once was. And things are kind of changing. Now, if you're still around from before and still watching the channel, much love for you all. If you're new and just discovered the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Let's take a look at the current statistics of crypto mining. All right, so I am starting things off here in MMPOS. We'll also take a look at Hivon statistics. I do believe Hivon has more miners on it. That's HiveOS, and it'll see how close their statistics are versus MMPOS. But starting off at MMPOS here, we can see that the top coin being mined right now is Cubic at 31.9%. And, top mining hardware is Cubic Client at 32.88. Now, in second place is an interesting thing, which was not the case 4 years ago when Ethereum was around by any means. And that is Monero is the second placed coin being mined, which makes sense because you can merge mine it with Tari and stuff now. And because it's the second best coin here, or second most mined coin by miners using this platform, we can see that XMRig is the miner being used, followed by XMRig MO. Now, MO, this is the Monero Ocean version. And what this XMRig version does is allow you to mine to the Monero Ocean pool, but it profit switches everything it mines and pays you out in Monero or XMR. And coming on to here for the next coin, Zephyr is at 7.8%, the third top coin here, followed by Warthog, Minotauri Tari. This is Tari all by itself, not merged mined with Monero, I would assume, because so many people are on here. So we're having these two are kind of combined together when merge mining Monero. So I think those numbers are counted into the Monero here. We do have Ravencoin next, then Dero, which is another CPU coin, followed by Quine Network. Sure, there's a lot more behind the scenes here, but we're getting down to only 2%, and doesn't really matter. Coins, people aren't that interested. There's 23% total in all the others, but there are so many other coins out there that we're just kind of looking at the top stuff right now. Now, coming into, the CPU side, it shows 51.59% is using AMD and then 48.41. So slightly under half the CPUs in MMPOS here are Intel CPUs. And as we know, Intels aren't very good for mining. So I don't know how they are reading this. Are they just reading the CPUs inside any rigs, whether even if it's GPU mining rigs and they're just throwing it on here? Or are they counting CPUs that are strictly mining? I don't know if you know. Let me know in the comments section. Coming into GPUs here, we can see there's a clear winner of what brand is winning for mining, and that is NVIDIA at 77.47%. AMD lags behind at 22.3%, which makes sense because AMD is really slow. Like most of the devs that make the miners for them, sure, we do see there's still some support out there for AMD, but the fast support and the major support is gone. And sometimes when new coins, their algorithms emerge, AMD GPUs don't even get to see that algorithm till like a month or two later, till they finally get a miner. And by that time, usually the coin is dead or rugged or something, and they totally missed out on the situation. So there is a huge lack of support for AMD lately. Coming in, we do have Intel only 0.2% here. Coming down to a bit more, looking at the actual CPUs that are being used here, looks like the 7900X is the most used CPU here at 8.9%. We got the Celeron G1840 at 8.2%. This makes me believe that they're just counting the CPUs that are in the rigs, but again, I don't know. There could be people with thousands of these just mining away, just because. At the same time, we have 3900X at 6%. BC250s is at 5.81%. We got 7950X is sitting at only 3.6%. We got the Epic 7K62 at 3.4, 5950X at 3.19, and 7950X3Ds at 2.8%. Coming into GPUs, it looks like the top GPU here is a CMP50 HX, which is interesting, very interesting, because I do believe Hive we'll look at after. The top GPU I think might be the 3070, but I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while, and we'll look at that in a minute. We got the 3070 laptop GPU at 10%. The CMP 30 is at 9. And we got the 3080s at 6%, 3070 at 5.4, 3060 Ti at 4.9, 3060s at 2.9, and the 4070 Super sitting at 2.9%. And then they also got a cool little stats here of FPGAs being used on MMPOS. So they got the TH53s are 30% of the FPGAs on this platform. U50Cs are 29.79, and the Forest Kitten 33s are at 10%. The BCU 1525s 9.5%. The TH53M 7.4. AU55Ns are 5.32. The TH55s 3.19. The Acorn CLE 215 Plus 2.1%, and all others is sitting at just over 1% here. So there's the stats of MMPOS. Let's kind of see what HiveOS is telling us what's being mined. All right, so here we are at HiveOS statistics, and things are a little bit different, but pretty much showing close to the same type of results. But here we see XMR is the top coin at 21%. Well, obviously, all others is 28%, but there's so many other coins out there that regards every single thing. Like, you have a whole bunch of coins sitting at 2% or less, but if you have hundreds of them, obviously it makes up, a lot more than just top coin. But there's a lot of other coins out there. So in theory, the largest is other coins at 28%. But we're looking at the main coins being mined right now. And, back in 2020, 2021 and stuff, this was obviously by a huge margin. Ethereum was number one here, and obviously GPUs was a huge number of hardware on these OSs. But now we're seeing CPUs picking up. So XMR 21%, followed by Cubic, which in MMPOS we saw that Cubic was the top coin. It's the second coin on HiveOS. Now the thing I really wish is, how many miners are on HiveOS and how many are on MMPOS? There have been some miners, and I want to try MMPOS one day, but there have been miners moving away from HiveOS onto MMPOS. One for, CPU fees are a lot less or maybe free. I don't know their whole rig counts and how it works. If you got the breakdown, let me know in the comments. That way other people know as well. But I do think a lot of these platforms, ever since the 2021 phase of Ethereum and GPU mining, they're not updating to suit today's needs. They're still stuck on strictly GPU mining, and they're still stuck on Ethereum pretty much. And, they're not adapting to allow, maybe possibly overclocking for your CPUs within the dashboards, and just more things that you're able to see and do between multiple hardware other than strictly GPUs only. I do think these things need to advance more, add FPGA. I do believe MMPOS, the reason why we're seeing FPGA stats there is because they're actually, they have things set up to run FPGAs there. But, Hive is still strictly only on GPUs. And I really wish they would start adapting better support for CPUs and FPGAs and things like that. But anyway, continuing on here. So we got Cubic in second place, 11%. We got Raven now at 8%, where we saw Zeph was the third coin. Now it's Raven coin with the GPUs, obviously. Now we have Zeph at 5%. Bitcoin, BTC. So they're adding in. Oh, yeah, makes sense, for these are the coins. So, they have Hive on ASIC firmware, stuff like that. So we got Bitcoin miners at 5%. Tari at 4%. That's about what we saw with MMPOS, I believe. NiceHash, Random X. So they got NiceHash in here at 4%. We got XTM here at 3%. So again, some more Tari. I don't know why they kind of put that like that, but they did. We got QRL 2%. Zealous at 2%. Cubic at 2. What? They have two Cubics here. So I don't know what the difference is between the 2% and the 11%. One is one CPU, one GPU. I don't know. We got Ergo, and again, other of 28%. Now, when it comes to the algorithms, the top algorithm by a decent amount, even over all the others, is Random X at 45%, which is crazy. We got Cubic here at 12%. That's crazy that this is so much higher. And this is as algorithms per GPUs. Now, obviously, that's not the case because GPUs suck on Random X. So this might just go rewind back to what we said previously, is they're not set up for multiple types of hardware. It's still set up here for strictly GPUs. But, I did a video on testing a 3070 on RandomX to see how well a GPU does do on the CPU algorithm, and it was absolutely horrible. Go check out that video, if it's something you want to know for yourself. But GPUs suck when it comes to RandomX. But you never know. Some people have free power. Maybe they bought and added a bunch of GPUs. They have no problems running them for a little bit of hash rate anyway at free power, right? We got Cubic at 12%. We got Kapow at 11%. Shaw 256, 4%. Zealous Hash V2 is at 2%. Auto Close, so this is your Ergo at 2%. And then all others are at 23%. Now, here's the interesting aspect of what GPU models and stuff are being used. Now, for AMD models, we can see the top AMD cards are still the old RX 588 gigabytes. 16% of GPUs that are AMD are RX 580s, followed by 5700 XTs, 6700s. We got 9% on 66, 8% on 6600 XTs, 578 gigabytes. That's 6%. We got the Radeon Pros V520s at 5%, 574 gigabytes. There's still 4 gigabyte cards out there, guys. Insane. Running at 4% of Hive. We got 6800 XT, 16 gigabytes, 3%. 6800s is at 3%. 5700, 8 gigabyte versions at 3%. What is this? Now we have 5700 XT. Oh, that's just straight 5700. All right. 474 gigabyte, 2. We got the Vega 56 here at 2%. 478 gigabyte, 2%. And all others are sitting at 15%. So obviously it's a clear winner here. We have the 580s are the dominant, still most popular hardware. And this is probably like 1-2 cent power, maybe huge farms that just, stay on forever and don't care until they blow up or light on fire. Coming into the NVIDIA models, we can see, here is the 3070. It is 14% of all the GPUs, which is a huge clear indicator that the 3070 is obviously still here anyway, the most popular GPU for mining. We got the CMP 50HX, 9%. We got 3060 Ti at 8%. We got the 3080 at 6%. 3070 laptop, 6%. 30HX, 5%. 1660 Supers at 5%. We got the CMP 170 at 4%. 3070 Ti at 3%. 3060, 3%. 2060, 2%. 3090 at 2%. And 3080 Ti's at 2%. So, like, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Maybe I missed one, maybe 14. I don't know. But in the top, say 14, 15, we don't even have any of the 4000 series or the 5000 series GPUs on this on HiveOS, which makes sense. They're probably all doing AI stuff or something, but still, none of that is in here when it comes to crypto mining for people that are actually using it. And they might be down. It might be in this other, there might be 1 or 2%, 0.5% in there. But when it comes to the top ones, not there. Now it's for ASIC models. S21 on Hive One is 21%, tied with the L3 Plus. The L3 Plus is still massively being used. 21% of ASICs in Hive are the L3 Plus. Insane. S19J Pro Hive One, 11%. S21s, 11. S19s, 5. L7s, 4%. Now this is all using Hive On. So I think we're only seeing, obviously, is the miners that have Hive On firmware, the L9s, the newer Bitcoin miners and stuff don't yet have it. So I expect these numbers to change if they do release that. But like I said, it seems like they haven't been as active as they have been back in 2021. Things are kind of slowing down for these OSs. Miners per GPUs, obviously, this is mixed between CPUs because we can clearly see XM Rig New. CPUs 41%, custom miners 16%, SRB is 7%, ASIC miner is 6%, so that's all your ASICs. Team Red miner 6%, that's your AMD stuff. Regal miner is 6%. T-Rex is still being used, guys, at 5%. If you're a T-Rex owner, you should probably swap over to Regal miner here, but just saying, these are probably some people that are still rocking T-Rex might support stuff that Regal doesn't, so you'd have to keep that in there. G miner 4%, LOL 3%, and all others 6%. Now here's the major thing: GPU Brown. So even though we're seeing a lot of 580, 16%, that's 16% of a very small cut of portion, because the majority of all the GPUs mining on Hive OS is almost 80%. We're at 79% of them are all NVIDIA. We're only 21% of the GPUs are AMD. So, this 14% holds a lot more weight than this 16% here. So there's like I don't even know. There's probably 5 times more 3070s on here mining than there is of 580s. That's just rough numbers. If you're a mathematician, run the numbers. Let us know in the comments what these could mean based on 79% of NVIDIA GPUs and 14% being of those being 3070s versus this. Let us know those statistical numbers down below. But anyway, guys, this is the way things are looking now. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. We're seeing CPUs obviously a lot more popular than they once were. It makes sense because they have been at least in the profit range for the majority of the past bear market, and GPUs have been pretty rough. But the popularity in CPU mining is growing. Obviously, we're seeing the most popular coin on both platforms is a mixture between Monero and Cubic, between those two top spots there. So that's kind of accurate between the two, but it's crazy. Two top coins, Monero currently and Cubic, which is currently being mined throughout the crypto ecosystem on the two most popular platforms. Anything else? Let me know if I missed something down in the comments section. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.